And that one huge field used to have like 4 matches going on parallelly. So, yeah, that's a different experience. And then you are running and trying to catch a ball, and then you enter another game altogether. It's madness. Michael Bevan, then Michael Clark, Brett Lee,
Oh no, I can name
Gillespie.
more than three. I can name more than three. Yeah.
Today's commentary is not like that. If
I
you close your eyes and listen to cricket commentary right now, you won't even know what's happening in the game. It's something else.
do you think the sport is like performative to a certain extent?
Of course, it's performative.
Am I audible? Do I sound like you can hear me clearly? Why can't you see me?
I can't see you too well, but I can hear you.
Wave your hand. Yes, I see you move. I see you move. It works. Nobody moved. Nobody moved from wherever they are. Everybody, all of you are in the right place.
Welcome to Stories with Shastri. We have Raushan Verma here with us. For those of you who've been following this podcast, Raushan was our first ever guest, and he's been an ardent supporter of the podcast ever since. And he's agreed to be back here. And this time we thought that let's talk about another aspect of his life, which is cricket. I've known Roshan for about the better part of 11 years now, or yeah, about 11 years now. Cricket has rarely come up in our conversations. There's only been music, so we thought it would be really nice to talk about cricket. Uh, and maybe understand, for me at least, to understand what it's like for somebody who was playing uh, in order to get into it professionally at one point or the other. I used to love watching cricket because it was my favorite sport, with my favorite sport to watch with my granddad, mostly because he refused to give me the remote, and I had to sit and watch all the sports. And yeah, I want to know what's changed about the sport and what it's like. So, hi, Roshan.
Hi, Sangamitra. What's up? Thank you for having me
I'm glad to
again.
again. Uh, let's start with a little bit about what got you into cricket.
What got me into cricket, like straight up, when uh, when I was a child, my granddad was into cricket and he used to watch it all the time. But I used to hate it. But then that's when the 2003 World Cup happened, and that World Cup actually changed. That World Cup got me into cricket. That was the first time I actually watched cricket properly. And then I was introduced to our guys, Sehwag, Sachin, Ganguly, the OG team.
Yeah.
So I was like, whoa. And that's when I started watching random matches on TV. Uh, I suddenly got interested in everyone playing cricket in my colony. And I wanted to play cricket in school, college, and eventually I wanted to play cricket professionally, which didn't happen. What is your take on it, cricket as did you play as a child?
I mean, I tried with my brothers, but I was very irritated with it because the deal was always that we'll first play cricket and then they'll play whatever I want to play, and that never happened because they just keep playing and then it would just go on and all of that. But cricket for me was always, like I said, right? It was my uh, it was because of my grandfather, and I remember it was simply because he would not give me the remote. I wanted to watch cartoons or something. And I remember he said, like, no,
Same.
no, the match is on. We can't change it. And I didn't have enough authority in the house as a 6 year old to make any difference. And I remember, like, I watched a lot of sports actually, like with him, and thanks to him, my knowledge of sports and my ability to talk about sports comes simply because of my grandfather making me watch this. Uh, I remember watching Dhoni's first victory. I remember watch where everybody's like, "Oh, who's this dude?" And this was, I think, 2004 or five, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, yeah. I clearly remember Dhoni coming on in the scene. And
Yeah.
that Bangladesh series where the first match he was run out.
Oh yeah, and
I clearly remember this.
yeah,
And because I also at that point I used to follow this is in 2004, so that's this is 1 year of me being into cricket, where I've watched all the matches on TV, watched domestic cricket, and I already knew who Dhoni was. I
Yeah.
mean, every person used to watch, and yeah, that was the first time we saw him, and then the first two matches he failed. I think the third match or fourth match he hit that century against Pakistan. His third or fourth match, not exactly sure. But yeah, that was the turning point where I was like, okay, finally we've got someone like Adam Gilchrist. You
Yeah.
know, back in the day, Gilchrist used to be the guy,
Yeah.
the wicketkeeper batsman who used to also open.
Yeah, he was
So
he's what they call the all-rounder.
that Australian team was that's still a team that no team has actually ever matched with, and nobody like all 11 of them, like everyone were like even batting, bowling, fielding, everything on point, captaincy on point. I
It
think
was
no team has come close to that.
it was so on point that I remember when Shane Warne got married in India. It became such a big deal.
Yeah, not actually sure about that part,
No, no, it
but
was. I know when I say that, I mean the big deal in the sense of the kind of public attention it got or the kind of public interest it got. It really takes something to leave an impact in another country like that.
yeah,
Like in that sense. But I do remember at one point, like I said, I start with cricket or like for example, I'd watch a lot of football with my granddad, a lot of tennis. Like I watched Nadal's first win on the clay court. And I watched it live, not because I wanted to, but I've realized today now I know that watching that really is, it's a milestone. And yeah, you're right about the Australian team. It's very like though I think that Australian team is the one where I can probably name at least three cricketers, which is great because I used to not
I can
know.
name all 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, right
Like,
from Gilchrist, Hayden, then came Ponting on one down,
oh, I like
two
Ponting.
down was Gavin Martin, then Andrew Simons, Michael Bevan,
Mm.
then Michael Clark, Brett Lee,
Oh no, I can name
Gillespie,
more than three. I can name more than three. Yeah.
yeah,
I just didn't remember them. It's
all of
been so
them. Glenn McGrath, that guy.
right.
I used to copy all of those guys, the bowling actions.
How?
It was pretty cool, especially Brett Lee. Like Brett Lee was the bowler I wanted to be, and I want to be a guy who bowls like Brett Lee and bat like Sachin. That never happened.
Why do you think it didn't happen?
It didn't happen because not just cricket and anything, if you want to perfect it, you have to practice and you have to be in the game a lot. So in order to do that, like how we have like Riyaz and music, so you have to play every day. Not only play every day, play competitive cricket every day,
Yeah.
and make sure your body is able to do those things like constantly. Like I could bowl really fast. Like I don't want to say the numbers because then the audience would be like, "Oh, there's no proof of that now.
Mm.
I
But do
can't
you still
prove it." And
play?
I used to bowl that fast.
But do you still get to play?
Rarely, actually. I made a group of friends here in Andheri
Okay.
who used to get together on weekends and play at the turf close by. Uh, but then that just reduced because 12 people playing for 2 hours, we barely get to bowl like 2 overs each,
Mm.
and we barely get to bat. And it's not that experience that you actually are looking for when you're playing it for fun.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't mind playing competitive cricket again, but then I'm scared of injury. I know uh, that's a that's sort of an irrational or rational fear, but it's true.
Fair. But how has the experience of cricket playing changed for you?
It's great. It's great because this is the only sport where it's not just about being physically doing things. It's
Yeah.
also using about the game. This is the only sport where the wind matters, the soil matters, the sunlight matters. You know what time of the day matters. Like the game completely changes.
I mean,
Like
tennis
people who have
and badminton.
True, that's true, but not like this. Like if you actually follow Test cricket, especially
I did.
like
Watched a lot of Ashes.
from morning, so from morning to evening, the condition of the pitch, the everything changes. Like you can't bat or bowl the same way every session. You have to change according to the weather, the conditions, and the strategy changes. Different players, different mindsets. There's no one. I know that's again a very generic sport thing, but for me, and I'm sure a lot of viewers will agree, it's more than just a physical sport. It's more mental.
Oh, for sure. I remember, especially when Test cricket was on, right, with my granddad, I was like, oh no, Ashes are on, so now I won't get the TV for these many days straight, right, at this time. And I remember sitting and watching it, and now, and then when ODI started, I was like, oh, it's done fast. So I was more interested in ODIs, right, in
Yeah,
comparison. I wasn't irritated with it. But then T20 came, and then I just got annoyed with it, saying, this is too little. You need to play more to actually play. What's your thought on that? Like, what do you think about it?
yeah. Actually, to be honest, if you ask for my opinion, even I'm not a big fan of T20 cricket. But the thing is, like T20 cricket is what has got non-cricketing viewership to
Yeah,
cricket.
yeah,
So
that's
because it's shorter, more countries are playing now. Because it it takes a lot of time to understand the game when it comes to Test cricket and the patience that okay. If you think about it from a bird eye perspective, 5 days. Oh shit, you're playing for 5 days. That's a long time.
yeah.
But every over matters. Like that, you can. I'm saying it now, but that you can actually understand only if you're into it.
Oh, for sure. And do you want to get into what made you stop playing?
Nothing dramatic. It's just that I didn't get support from my parents because initially, if you want to be a cricketer, you need that support. You need to step back from your academic life. Actually, never. I couldn't start because my dad, especially, was not very supportive of me being a full-time cricketer.
Mm.
Neither was he supportive of me being a musician. But musician, I had more control because I could do it on the side. Cricket, you need your full attention. You have to play competitive cricket, miss exams, stuff like that. So I think it's. I wouldn't just blame it on my parents. It's on both ends. Maybe if I was more uh, forceful about it, that I really want to do this,
Right.
maybe then I would have got the support. But yeah,
But do you think,
I think
sorry,
I think a lot of people do that. Yeah, you were saying.
do you think a lot of this had to do with the fact that back when we were kids, uh, taking up cricket as a full-time profession or taking up music as a full-time profession was a very risky thing to do.
Yeah, because especially 90s kids were the last generation before the internet boom,
Yeah,
and where more opportunities and uh, other fields of work popped up.
yeah,
And even the parents are younger, so they are also available. They're like aware of things. Okay, kids can like if I had children, I would have been like, okay, if you want to be a musician or cricket, you can always play for IPL and have
yeah,
a decent life. That's
yeah. Do you think the sport is like performative to a certain extent?
of course it's performative, like, and it's very individualistic. I feel because everyone brings something else to the table. Like every cricketer, every footballer, whatever, every particular player. Don't you agree? What do you think? They
I
get their own brand.
I mean, when I'm saying performative, right, I'm looking at it from a lens of like IPL, for example, right, where you have to come and you have to do act a certain way, be a certain way. There's a like I'm looking at it as from the lens of there being a difference between the brand of the cricketer
You
and
mean off the field? You mean off the field branding?
on the field.
On the field is just about playing. It's just about playing and just making sure what you're contributing as a player for your team. That's with everything.
But do you
Yeah,
think the sport has become performative where you're like, oh, you got to come and you got to like do certain things?
but isn't that this case with every sport? You have to come and do certain things.
Maybe, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Maybe I feel there's more pressure now that you have to perform well. If you think about it like that, because that is what performative is. Otherwise, in general, yes, I think.
Performative as in you are basically acting a certain way because people are watching.
So, do you follow women's cricket?
I actually have a question about that. I haven't.
Yeah. So I have also been very bad with following women's cricket early on in my life because maybe women's cricket in general, not just in India, was not promoted as much as it is right now. And again, we need to give that credit to T20 cricket because T20 cricket is what got people into cricket, more viewership. Uh, the women's IPL.
Hmm.
There are a lot of international leagues as well, like the Big Bash. I think there's a female version of the Big Bash as well.
Okay.
Uh, and I think when BCCI took over, I'm not sure. Was BCCI always?
I think so.
No, no, no. BCCI was not always the head of women's cricket in India. Women's cricket in India had a different committee. So when BCCI took over, then they had got all the budgets and the training and sponsorships, and suddenly, like our cricketers, female cricketers also got the exposure. What and it's getting better. Like and especially this year, India winning the World Cup.
Yeah.
That is, I feel, and I really hope has the same effect as India winning the men's World Cup in 1983 because that is what shifted India's attention towards cricket. Because before that, hockey was a bigger sport in India
Right. Yeah.
before
That's
the 83 win.
that's true. But so that's something I was wondering about, right? Especially with women's cricket. Uh, is that the T20 for women's cricket has been going on for years, right? Uh, or at least women's cricket has been around for years. But do you think
It's
that women,
always been available.
yeah, and
Yeah.
do you think that women's cricket gets attention only when there's a win?
Not anymore, actually. To be honest, there are good examples of recent times when we've lost series and people have still watched. I have watched that series. I think that was an Australia series. Uh, then there was the 50 over World Cup, of course, that everyone watched. And yeah, people have started. I think in the past, especially post pandemic, people have
More
started
towards it.
getting interested towards women's cricket.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I hope that that happens because, like you said, right, you hope that it has the same shift as 83. Do you,
Yeah, because it's different. I used to be wrong about women's cricket. That because see, I come from the regular uh, viewership, right? So I was like, okay, these matches are not as fun as the men's matches, but that's wrong. It's a different game altogether. It's the way because you know strategies change.
yeah,
You know,
how?
uh, so firstly, there's a difference between the anatomy. The fastest female bowler is at 128 kph.
Okay.
Fastest male bowler is 100 mph. As even batsmen,
Are you differentiating between KPH and MPH on purpose?
yeah, on just this is my completely my observation.
Yeah, yeah.
So the strategy in cricket definitely changes as I have observed. I might be wrong. People might disagree with me.
So you mean like in terms of how to approach fielding
How
or
to approach that particular game?
yeah,
Yeah,
like how to approach
because
bowling?
yeah, exactly. So it's field placements, like everything. I'm not being able to explain it, so
Okay, maybe
maybe
if it
yeah,
comes to you later on, we can bring it up.
yeah, yeah.
That would be cool. Do you how do you like watching cricket? Like, I'm curious about that because for me, cricket was always I stopped watching cricket after my granddad passed actually. I don't watch the sport anymore. Uh and I stopped watching most sports because of that reason. So what's your way? Like, do you like sitting at home and chilling? Do you like going out to a sports bar? Do you like calling some friends over? Do you like it like by yourself?
Actually, all of the above. I love watching cricket alone. I love watching it with friends. I like going to people's houses. I like going to bars and watching it. I've watched it in the theater. All of that is a different experience. Sorry, I watched it in the theater because I think the 2011 World Cup,
I watched that. That was the last.
yeah, 2011 World Cup, which India won. Some of the theaters in Pune had actually aired the semi-finals and finals.
I think Semi was in your back.
Yeah, something like that.
I remember that because that was
I'm
actually
really scared of discussing facts because nowadays facts are so easily, you can just check it on Chat GPT, but they're not. We're just like, so whoever's checking our facts being wrong, we can be off a little bit. um,
no, I don't remember. That's the thing. That's all right.
yeah, even I don't know. Even I
And
don't.
the reason I remember that World Cup is because my granddad passed in the end of 2010, and he was very. We had just finished watching the football World Cup in 2010, and it was my first time watching a football World Cup. And I remember he was very, very keen on watching the Cricket World Cup. So I watched it for him because I was like, I'm watching it, so someone is. And yeah, that's why I remember that. But 2011 was a very fun one. So
And
maybe,
India won that.
yeah.
Yeah,
uh, like I have this very weird thing with, you know how there are like these superstitions when you're watching a game where someone like lifted their leg and then there's a wicket that's
yeah.
gone and you're like, don't move. Do you have any such?
I think I still do that sometimes. Like I did that last in that T20 World Cup that we won 2 years ago.
Hmm.
Uh, I was sitting in this one spot and India had like 30 runs to defend with 30 balls.
Oh, wow.
That's when Bumrah started bowling well, and then that's when I just sat in one place. I know that doesn't make a difference, but yeah, it does.
I feel like it could because I don't know what I have with sports. It's very funny. Not cricket, but with I'll come back to cricket. But I remember I was watching the only football match I have intently watched, and simply because of this reason was I was on the phone with someone, and it was I don't know if you follow football, but it was
Sometimes.
it was the City versus United match for one, where City beat United, and I was watching it live and I was on the call and I just told her, "Oh, I'm just switching channels." And then I think I changed the channel and United scored. So my friends like, don't change the channel, sit and watch and sit and watch. And because I would remember I was watching F1 and I think it was the first time I actually watched F1 properly. And I think it was Monaco. And I remember as soon as I took a seat, the car caught fire. And then I think two cars caught fire that day. And then I thought I should not watch F1 ever to protect the lives of the drivers.
Mm.
Because it was now I've
Yeah,
started watching it, but not I'm not very interested.
yeah. For me, F1, MotoGP, like I have friends who are really interested in it, but
It's
I
not.
don't know. I'm just never caught my attention the way cricket has.
I,
No other sport has caught my attention the way cricket has.
I could probably be
I
into
can say that.
MotoGP. Yeah, I could probably be into MotoGP. Like I haven't watched enough to know, but I've and even in general, I mean, I think you can only know if you like a sport if you watch enough of it, right? Or if you
Yeah,
know enough about, or you have
I've tried.
somebody who gives you that space to like show you what it's like, or you
Yeah,
feel
I mean, I've had that space like where I've sat down with friends on Sundays and they were watching, and then I'm like, okay, fine, one round, two round, okay.
Yeah.
right? Fast bikes, fast cars. I know people are gonna judge me, but these are my opinions.
But
I'm
you
entitled to my opinion.
yeah, you fully are. But you know, when the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix happened, the match got over so fast. I was like, when did you start? I mean, the
Yeah,
race, not the match. I keep calling it the match because my brain thinks of cricket or it thinks of
the
tennis
race.
or
Yeah.
something. But yeah, it got over really fast and it was really crazy. Uh, what's your opinion on like? There's always this debate, right, of watching the sport versus playing the sport. Like for someone like me, I like certain sports I like watching, certain sports I like playing.
I think for me, both playing is a different high, watching it is a different high, and yeah, it's different. I don't even mind being a commentator, cricket commentator. I've told my friends about it. It
Have you
will be a dream job, like a side hustle that I'm just touring with the
you
Indian team. Just
be
for
the next Ravi Shastri?
dream job is to do side hustle. Dream job is to do
Right.
side hustle.
I didn't hear that.
He said his dream job is to do side hustles. That's hilarious.
I mean, it is the gig economy. So
Yeah, it is the gig economy. You, but you get a break. It's like a holiday you take from doing your regular stuff, and then you also do other fun things.
yeah, that's true. Like I find commentary very interesting because it really changes the tone of the game, right? And it really guides the way.
Especially Hindi and Hindi. Have you heard the Hindi commentary?
I have.
Geo actually has commentary in different languages as well.
Oh,
And so
that's
my friends actually just switch between languages
wait for live
just for fun.
matches.
Yeah, yeah, for live matches. So yeah, we do that and just have a laugh.
Yeah, I'm sure because the thing is, I watched live cricket once, I think, which was Bangalore Chinnaswamy. It was IPL, and I think it was KKR versus RCB. And it was so like, and I was like sitting and I was like, where is the person telling me what's happening? Right?
Yeah.
And it was very interesting because it really changes how you understand the sport and you realize how much time cricket takes and how much
So yeah, that's actually interesting because this is a conversation I remember having with my grandfather that I asked him, how did you get into cricket? And
yeah.
he was like, back in the day when I was young, we didn't have TVs, we just had the radio.
Mm.
And the commentary was exactly what the match was. There was nothing that was not cricket. Like it would just be like, oh, 0.1 score is so something. Okay, the batsman plays the ball in this area. This fielder picks it up, and okay, throws it back to the keeper. This is what this guy's expression is. So it's basically so from that you actually get to understand the game,
Yeah.
right? Today's commentary is not like that. If
I
you close your eyes and listen to cricket commentary right now, you won't even know what's happening in the game. It's something else.
really I haven't
Mm.
so I
हाँ,
haven't actively watched the sport in about
अगर मेरे चाची के मुंह पे दाढ़ी होती तो वो चाचा होता. That's an actual quote. Yeah, that's an actual quote from uh, Sidhu. I guess something. Yeah.
oh my god.
So that's commentary now. So cricket commentary right now is very different to what it actually or traditionally is supposed to be. Traditionally, it's supposed to be just about the game, so that even if you're not watching the match, you know what's happening. But right
Yeah,
now, you have to watch the match. This is just like background noise.
the last time I watched cricket was and actively watched it was 2011 World Cup, so it's going to be about 15 years, right? So for me, the
That is
idea,
going to be 15 minutes. Nice.
yes. So even the the benchmark I have for a good commentator is that you're not just talking about the sport, but you're also talking about what you think the players looking like they're feeling, or what is on stake here for them, and stuff like that. So I'm presuming now it's a lot of like brand plugs too.
That's no, it's not. No, no, it's just about uh, dramatics. That's it. Or
Yeah,
drama.
but that's performative. That's the thing that makes the sport performative. That's what I mean.
They made it like that to attract more people, but originally it's supposed to be just that.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, opinions.
Yeah, for sure, always. Do you have? I have one that I'm very excited for, and that's why I put this question here that I wanted to, I wanted us to chat about. Is fun trivia about cricket.
Okay.
So, can you tell me what do you think is the coolest fact that you would, uh, like? Let's say you were at a dinner party and you wanted to show off about cricket and you want to give them a fun fact, right? What's the coolest fact about cricket that you know?
Actually, I know quite a few facts, but from the top of my head, I think Sachin Tendulkar was the first person to be given out by a third umpire.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
that was a
interesting.
run out. Wait, let me check. Oh, yeah, it must be true.
You can check if you want. You can fact check. Since we're talking about facts, I would rather that we fact
Yeah,
check.
let's just check. Sachin,
The facts is the top.
the first batsman. Yes, Sachin Tendulkar was the first batsman ever given out by the third umpire. I got my facts right.
Nice. So mine is mostly folklore, and but most sources agree on this. Did you know that according to legend, the overarm or round arm bowling, as it's called, was first done by a woman?
Yeah, I know that. And
That
I also know why. Because women wore skirts, right? So underarm cricket would actually, the skirt, back in the day, they had those big skirts,
yeah,
like English women.
yeah, yeah,
So it's really hard to run and throw underarm. So overarm would actually help them avoid that. So
yeah.
that's how they started.
True. And the funniest part about the story is that the woman who started this, I'll just find her name. Uh, Christina Wills or Wiles. This Willes. So this was somewhere around the 1800s. And basically she started this and while it's a nice story, so I saw this on her website. It's a very interesting thing because her brother, uh, because he's after they played, he jumped on his horse and galloped off and vowing to never play again because he got no ball. So that's the story. That's a part of the story.
And
Are you
how ironic it is that women's cricket is has started now, like being popular
in India?
everywhere. Even internationally, women's cricket was not as popular as it currently is 10 years ago.
Maybe, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks to television and people actually watching matches. So it's good.
Yeah, that's true. Are you a sore loser when it comes to like play? Do you like? Are you okay with
I
losing?
am. I am. No, no. I'm more like really passionate, I would say.
That's what a sore loser would say.
Like,
I,
hey, I would be exactly like how Kohli is on,
I don't know what he's
on the
like. I've
field.
hardly watched him play. I've only
Like,
watched
really
him.
passionate, really passionate. That's how I would be.
I would be like, play again.
Yeah, play again.
Play again.
Exactly.
So, do you have like a favorite team that you really respect today or really love and adore?
Yeah, I think my favorite team is Team India.
Okay.
So, and because not just because I am Indian or it's our
No, for sure.
country's team. It's not. This team has not been performing well since 2 years almost, but overall, I think they've been the best team.
Mm. And who's your favorite player in general?
Current players who are actively playing, or in general, like everyone, including.
Let's do both. Let's do both.
That's a very interesting question because it's a long list. But if I had to pick one bowler, uh, actually, I would have one name in every category. Like my favorite fast bowler, Brett,
Mm.
right? My favorite spinner, Mutaiya Muralitharan,
Oh yeah.
right? My favorite batsman. Now, it's actually a cross between Sachin and Ganguly.
Mm.
Ganguly was actually,
Quite good.
I used to like Ganguly's batting more than Sachin because it's the way he used to hit sixes.
Mm.
It was very loopy and it used to just look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about your favorite?
Favorite, what is left?
Wicket?
Favorite fielder?
Yeah.
Uh, Mohammad Khair. Yuvraj Singh.
Oh my God. You know, you used to get like these little candies with like little marbles with cricketers' faces on it.
Yeah.
I remember I used to collect them, and Kef was, I think, my first one that I collected.
I think in the current active players, I think Jasprit Bumrah is like my favorite cricketer, I would say.
I've heard so much about him. I haven't. If I were to watch something, it would be something with him in it because I want to see what it's like.
Yeah, you'll have to watch a lot of his matches to understand why he's considered as such a generational fast bowler.
Generational, why?
Generational. He's like if you look at the stats,
Yeah.
he is currently the best. Like his strike rate is average, and because he's got like an unorthodox action, it's really hard to pick him, and he can bowl anything and everything. He's got all the tricks.
Very cool.
Usually spinners have those tricks, but as a fast bowler, he has everything.
Very cool. I
Like
want.
I can only imagine facing him as a batsman.
That would be fun, no?
Yeah,
Is there a player who you didn't like, but eventually you grew to like someone who's evolved in a way that you were like, okay, cool, you are really into the sport or you're really good at
maybe Yan Parag
who?
from this guy who plays for Rajasthan Royals.
Okay.
Uh, but I think last season again he didn't play well. So he was just more about like being aggressive and passionate in the field. Never actually batted well,
Mm.
which is his main job. So one of the season, actually the season before the last season, he batted really well. And then we were like, okay, he's a good player. He's learned.
Fair. Okay, awesome. And do you what do you think makes a good player?
Firstly, is practice, how much you practice and how much, like what you practice and how you practice. And then mindset. Mindset is what makes the player because everyone practices. Everyone knows how to bat. Bowl, field. Basic, if you've been selected in a competitive tournament for a proper professional team, you must be good. You can't be bad.
Right.
So it's how you play in that moment in that match.
Mm.
That's all about mindset.
Do you think if you could, would you go back to playing professionally?
Yeah, of course, 100%. If I could turn back time by 20 years, I'll start. I'll start playing Ranji.
Nice. And what would be an advice you would give to somebody who is getting into professional cricket?
Professional cricket, just keep doing it.
And what about someone who's watching the sport? Like who's getting into
Yeah,
watching cricket?
into watching cricket. Yeah, give it a shot. Give start off with Test cricket. Understand, sit with people who understand cricket, then watch the matches like throughout.
Fair. Is there something that you want to add about?
Uh, yeah, I think people should play more cricket, and there should be more fields and grounds where we can because what is missing now are the playgrounds back in the day. When I come back, I go to my hometown, Pune. Uh,
Mm.
I I I miss the fields where we played cricket. Everything is like gone now. They're all gone. You know where we used to play cricket?
Where?
Uh, you know Nagar Road, which is at Ritz Carlton,
Yeah.
that road,
Yeah.
uh, which has IBM and stuff like that.
Sayadri is there. Yeah.
Sayadri is inside Shastri Nagar. It's on this road, on the Don Bosco School Road.
Okay.
I don't know if you know. So that entire stretch is full of skyscrapers. You can call them skyscrapers because they are like tall buildings by Pune standards. Uh, Glass houses, glass buildings, but they that used to be a field.
Really?
Yeah, and Kalyani Nagar had this field, and I think there's a new building there. There's a society there. People live there.
Yeah, I get very weird about stuff like that. I'm just like, where a kid gonna
Yeah,
play? There's
yeah, that's actually a different topic altogether. Where home is not exactly what it used to be because from my Pune house's window there is this huge garden, lot of trees, everything. It's all gone now. It's all like buildings.
I have this thing with the road to my school. Uh, for years while I went to school, it was like meadows. There was no land there at
Yeah,
all. Then I went after a few years after I left, and I was there from the first to the 10th, and then I went back, and that is
it's
what
concrete.
that's what we call Umri. So
Like thankfully, my school has still kept it pretty well.
you also cantonment technically. So nothing can happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
That's it.
which is so thank God for
Hopefully, it's gonna be stay. It's gonna be there for 150 more years.
hopefully. But do you what do you think about like this just came to me. Uh, do you think that cricket fields or places for people to play cricket will only be valued if there's money coming out of it? And
Of
not just
course,
little
that's how
guys.
it is.
No, I mean not just
The
grounds.
rule.
Like you said, the cricket grounds have gone missing. I mean have been replaced, not gone missing. Do you think it will only have do you think we will only have cricket grounds when there's like a tournament or there's like a league or there's something which is being ticketed and not
Yeah,
to just play?
yeah, yeah. That's definitely the future because that's how it works here in the city. Like we have turfs where people pay per hour,
Yeah. No,
and that is what.
but those still exist. No, but like like how you have like little grounds where kids would just go wild.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Pune still. I don't know if Ferguson College still does that because have you seen the Ferguson College ground?
Yeah, I feel like a
Yeah, so I was in Symbiosis, so I used to. A lot of us used to go to that ground to play cricket, and that one huge field used to have like four matches going on parallelly. Like so yeah, that's a different experience. And then you are running and trying to catch a ball, and then you enter another game altogether. It's madness.
yeah, it must be. I remember uh I remember Golibar Maidan having something like that. But then
Goliwar Maidan, yeah, yeah, Goliwar Maidan. I used to play there a lot
yeah,
with my camp friends. Yeah,
and then I also remember so where I was growing up, we would have one play area where there's cricket is being played, football is being played, throw ball is
yeah,
being
yeah, yeah.
played. Everything is being played together. I don't know who's who, and there's just balls and shuttles flying everywhere.
I think the college grounds are still like that because I don't think they'll construct things inside a college. Like Ferguson College is still like that.
Yeah, but
Wadia College,
I mean,
Wadia
it's
College
like
has changed because Wadia College had I don't know Wadia. So my junior college was in Wadia College, and
same.
so you know about that field when S Wadia is right.
Yeah,
That used to be bigger when I was in college. That
really.
one extra building was not there.
The new building.
When I used to play cricket on that ground, that building did not, that outside building, now the
Yeah,
ground is a little smaller.
there's a basketball court there.
Exactly. There was no basketball court in Wadia College there when I was in college.
Interesting. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should do one about how homes change the next time. Okay, that brings us to the end of this episode, and thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you for having me, Sangamitra. This is always fun. And maybe we do this again after 5 years.
After 5 years,
This was 5 years ago. Our last podcast was 5 years
you
ago.
realize that back then I was taking a long time to put it up. Also, by the way, the first
You know
podcast
how I
is
remember this? It was 5 years
is
because
going.
this was the pandemic.
Yeah,
This was the pandemic. This was during the first lockdown, I think.
Yeah, I used to keep going live and you told me I should just make a podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I just yap on it.
but that's how it is, right?
Yeah,
That's how podcasts came into existence.
that's very true. But no, back then also, by the way, that was live stream, so it didn't take too long to go up technically. But on
And it
YouTube,
was not vertical last time. It was like this.
it was vertical only. It was just that you and I were in the vertical screen only, and it was on a phone. It was on Instagram.
Okay, right. Yeah.